everybody. This is Frances Castaneda-Dice, and I'm president of the East End Chamber of Commerce. And welcome to our Feel Good Friday. We're so honored to have Craig Corbell here with us today. You're going to meet the business owner who has been beautifying the East End since 2012. Craig, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Frances. It's glad to be here and glad to be a part of the community.
Yes, we are. So for those of you who don't know, he is president and CEO of Advanced Safety, LLC and Rowdy, LLC. He opened an office on Polk Street and loved the neighborhood so much that he bought a home with his company, Rowdy, and has been beautifying the East End since 2012 by purchasing and refurbishing residential and commercial properties. So we're going to find out today more about him and why he loves the East End so much. We've got these beautiful pictures here. First of all, tell us about yourself and where you're from and how you got started in your business and why you chose the East End.
Well, I'm from south part of Houston. I went to South Houston High School. My parents went to South Houston High School. So I've lived in Pearland and Friendswood and spent a lot of time in Galveston as a kid. And as I got older and started doing things, I started building and buying and selling some stuff in Galveston, and then that led me to diversifying my business interest, and ended up with an office here in the East End on 5100 block of Polk. And I saw a lot of opportunity, and I tried to share it with a lot of my friends and told them, boy, you really need to get on board over here. Wonderful things are coming. And there's an example of what my office looked like before. And I was able to buy up a lot of properties and rehab them and kind of change the way, especially that part of Polk looks where I live now. And a bunch of these other areas on Canal and just kind of kickstart redoing a bunch of things, cleaning up the neighborhood. We had, at one time, there was I guess you'd call them kind of like tenement houses or rooms for rent. And there were some 200 square foot unit, all bills paid units, and fourplexes, and all kinds of people, good people and very non-desirable people. And I bought up some of these things and kind of, encouraged them to go somewhere else, and cleaned up a lot of crime we had in the area. But there's a picture of my office. Initially, I had an engineering and consulting firm, and that's where we officed out of. But due to the economic times and the oil and gas industry price collapse, we've pretty much phased that company out. And last year, I acquired a couple of companies that are in the safety and training business. And we operate out of that office there for those. And then I have an office in Lafayette, Louisiana. And we do work in Midland and Oklahoma and North Louisiana. I'm actually up in Shreveport myself right now. Been up here for some meetings. So, we have some interesting projects also going on there in the East End, rehabbing some more facilities. There's the inside of my office, the front part of the office, and we took and had converted a 3-bedroom house into a pretty livable office area, good space to gather and visit, and then took a back part that was originally a little church and kind of made it, put cubicles in there and a big conference room area and a big TV to, participate in stuff like this where everybody can join and watch. And
yeah, well, that one you put your office building on Polk Street, and then right next to it, for those of you who don't know, is the formerly Jackson Middle School, now named the Yolanda Black Navarro Middle School, and then right next to that is your home.
That was my house when I bought it, or before I bought it. It was there was 9 different properties I bought on that 4,900 and 5,000 block of Polk. Whenever I moved over there, I bought up 9 different properties and have kind of combined them all in one gated fence. I have 5 different electric gates over there. I have 10 units currently over there. I tore down one building that was kind of like an apartment slash hotel building that had 9 units in it. And I tore down a house with a garage apartment that apparently at one time had been home of the Texas Musicians Union Hall. So
Wow.
that's what my house looks like kind of now.
And it's
Um,
beautiful. I love the art that's over there. Are those the Blues Brothers on your porch?
yes, there's some Blues Brothers on the porch. There's a big boy that's not in this picture that's in the left in the front yard. I've got a 1929 American LaFrance fire truck over in one of the other parts of the yard. Um, and there's kind of the garage apartment at my house. And we've, spent a ton of money bringing in trees and landscaping and really trying to make the place look nice. I
This
built a
is
deck
beautiful.
on both sides of the house. Uh, Most of these houses over there, I've torn all the way down to the studs and rebuilt.
Hmm.
Like that house there, the only thing original left is the wood floors we fixed. The roof is the same as was there, and the studs in the walls, but everything else inside, plumbing, electrical, doors, windows, sheetrock, exterior, everything is brand new. So it's
Wow.
been a big process to redo everything, but I'm redoing it right and redoing it to be able to stay there for a long time.
Is this
And
inside your
that's kind of a
house?
look of the inside of the house. Yes, it is. Yep.
Your artwork is fabulous.
Yeah, I really like old vintage advertising and movie posters. So if somebody were just to be deposited into one of my houses just by looking around at some of those things, they could probably figure out it was mine. And then there's a couple pieces in there by an artist by the name of Jimmy Houston that's actually from Houston. Um, and they're pretty quirky, interesting. He does a lot of stuff with a little monkey, and the monkey's flying around and he's doing all kinds of things. So
So this looks like the kitchen.
it is. And
Do
we
you,
need to have a big party there when all this COVID stuff is over with and we can enjoy it. Now,
well,
this
we're
is the
ready
house
for it.
next to me.
Okay.
It's a yellow house now. This house, when I bought it, there was a homeless guy that slept in the front yard. That house had been vacant for 10 years. The side part of it was so rotted that you could stick your arm all the way from the inside of the house all the way outside through the rotted holes in the wall. So once again, we tore that thing all the way apart. I built that front porch on it that was not there before. Redid those dormers and put windows in them that weren't there before. And that place had actually been converted to a duplex, and I put it back as a single family, 4-bedroom, 2-bath house.
That is a beautiful work of art, Craig. Before and after. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then over here, is this a still part of the yellow in your house?
Yes, it is the yellow in my house. It's kind of a shot showing the garage apartment behind it, behind my house, kind of next to and behind my house. And there's a really big garage apartment behind the yellow house. Now, right here, this is basically 5,000 Polk. That 2-story place was a duplex that they had converted at one time to a fourplex. And on the right, we see those tan buildings, and each of those buildings is 1,800 square foot, and they had 200 square foot all bills paid units in there that they were renting for $400 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of illegal activities going on in there, and we can't have that in the neighborhood right there by the school. There were some undesirable characters there, so we were able to get those people out. We were able to clean them up a little bit. I think the next post shows where we
This is
are.
after.
We right. Well, we repainted the 2-story place red, and we kind of redid it, and we redid the white buildings a little bit, gutted out the inside. But actually, as of last week, the duplex has new windows, freshly painted, and it's been freshly redone. And this weekend we had travel nurses moving in there. I've got right now on my property, I'm hosting 10 different travel nurses that are in town working in the hospital systems, working on the COVID cases.
Wow.
So, in the 2 white buildings, I have now put new roofs on them, and I've cut new doors and windows in. In each of those buildings, I'm going to go back and put 5 units in each building, and to try to attract travel nurses. Now, this is the house on Gustav that I redid. When I bought it, the fireplace was literally falling off of the side of the house, and you could have a dog climb through there. So we totally redid that house, new roof, new everything. And it's now a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And then we've built a little tiny house behind it now on the back deck. This is another house on Bell Street. This is kind of the before and after of it. It's a 2-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Took
Wow.
that, and then there it is afterwards. And then there's a house was torn down next to it, and there's a pool on the lot next to it.
Is that yours?
No, it is not. That's one of the guys that works with me. We were redoing it, and he liked it so much and liked the area so much, he sold his place and moved there.
Wow. This is beautiful. And this is right in our neighborhood by your house. This is,
Right.
you are beautifying the neighborhood.
Yes, we're trying to every little bit we can. This is the inside of that house.
Look at that wine
And,
bar.
Yep, that's right. You got to have wine. And then here's some houses on Oakland that I bought and redid. I bought those, redid those, rented them out for a while, and then had them on short-term rental. On Oakland Street, I had a total of 5 properties there, and I redid 4 of them, and I sold one of them to somebody who's building a new house on it right now. But I really took some stuff that had seen better years, and put new plumbing, new electrical, new roofs, new windows, new doors, new exterior siding. We're trying to fix these things where they're good for the next 50 or 60 years. We're not band-aiding and patching things. We're fixing it right when we fix it.
I wanted to commend you also because here next to your house, there's a gas station on the corner of Dumble and Polk Street. And then next to that, there was a hotel that used to be there.
Right.
Now, we don't have a picture of that, but can you tell us a little bit of history of that?
Well, that was built after World War II. It was a wood construction, flat roofed, and it had gone into pretty poor shape, and some bad individuals were there, and then there were homeless people living there and camping out there, and that was a big challenge to straighten all that up. And we actually have torn that down, and right now we are currently on that 2-acre property I have. We are in engineering and architecture stage on the 2 lots at the corner of Gustav and Polk that are facing Navarro Middle School. We intend to, by the end of the year, to build 2 new duplexes there on that property. And the property next to the gas station and the lot next to it that I actually bought from Miss Navarro, I am right now looking at putting in a 18-unit multifamily housing on that. Once again, kind of blending in with the neighborhood and keeping up with what we have had there before. So I'm not adding any additional units, even though there's 18. What I've done is I eliminated units from the other side, and I eliminated 9 from there. So I'm on the property, I'm keeping the same amount of units as there were before. It's just we're putting them on a bigger piece of property and making them a little nicer and new, and going to try to go for some students, possibly for some senior living in there, and keep it up and keep it a fun place, and keep it maintained and add to the community.
I love it. So I have a question here, and the Center for Pursuit is moving into the neighborhood on Harrisburg, and they wanted to know if you'll be doing any renovations for assisted living folks with disabilities.
I am looking at that. On the new construction stuff, we will probably be doing stuff for that. Like I said, senior, targeting the senior market. So
Good, good. And so, Craig, I know that you have your office for sale right now. So, for those
right.
who are interested in that, that's on. That's where you got your start in the East End, and now you'll be
Hmm.
selling that. So that's on for sale right now. How do people get a hold of you if they want to tour or purchase that?
Well, it is listed right now on HAR. I have a realtor representing me that handles a lot of my deals, and so she's going through and screening everybody. But yeah, I've got two offices basically on 4 lots, and it's just you know, I don't need that amount of space anymore. I did have a lot more people working out of this office, but as COVID has shown us, we can work an awful lot remote from home. And already a large part of our business in the safety and training is in the customer's offices.
Hmm.
So, we're in their offices doing training for their employees, updating their um, safety manuals, updating their safety statistics, um, doing monitoring on their locations and inspections, making sure everything is done. And so, we don't need to be at the office as much as we used to. So,
Yes, that's so true. And so if anyone's interested, it has a lot of beautiful features to it, and it's right next to a
mhm.
school. But we're going to bring that slide back on about the company that you're with right now. So tell us about the company that you have and what you guys are doing.
So I bought two companies in last year, one advanced safety and training, and the other one global training and environmental. And global training has kind of an online presence. Right now, we're in the middle of updating both of our websites for both companies and building a bunch of new proprietary online training for both companies. Historically, Global has had a lot of people train at their facility um, and knock out stuff for a lot of Fortune 500 companies and municipalities. And advanced safety kind of was more of your outsourced safety department. Say you had the safety department, but you couldn't do everything, or you needed experts to help with certain training. We've always gone in and done that, and we function as the complete outsourced safety department for a lot of companies, even good-sized companies. So being that we keep track of their ISNet, their PEC, their Aveda, their OSHA filings, and make sure everybody's got all the proper training. Very common things are forklift, crane and rigging, fall protection, CPR, first aid. We're doing some stuff on workplace violence, active shooting training, um, lockout, tag out. We're doing a lot of inspections of facilities. Just, people work somewhere for 30 years and they see the same thing in the same spot for 30 years, but it's not supposed to be there. So that's one of the things we do, and go in and look at everybody's workspaces and say, look, yes, this has been here, but you need to have these hazardous materials locked up. You need to have these things posted here. You guys need to do a weekly little 10-minute toolbox meeting about safety, and let's just go over these things. Let's look at some more training. What else can we do to educate your people to prevent injuries, both for them and for others on things that they are doing? And so it's pretty interesting, and with all the things and locking down things like we are now, we are really working at building a better um, online training program to be able to do as much online as possible, since it's much more of a challenge and much more restrictive to do in-person training.
So
Used
true.
to, before COVID, it was really easy to do that, but now we got to look at safety. Part of safety in these times is staying away from each other. But you still, you know, you still have, and even more so at these times, people are spending less time commuting and stuff like that. So there's a lot of online training, that ergonomics, stuff like that, training that you could learn about, posture and all those things that really help you, even if you are working from home.
Mhm.
And so we're trying to build that up to help support our customer base and make it affordable for them and make it easy for them, and even easier for them to, have people do more training. Hey, if you're not coming into the office every day, there's a little bit of some time. So here's what we'd like for you to do with some of your time. Do some more online training, educate yourself.
Couldn't agree more. That's what we're doing here is
Right.
online, almost
That's right.
a virtual meeting.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Yep. And I love that. You're an entrepreneur, a business owner, and those are really good tips for any business owner to start thinking about. So thanks for sharing that. And I know that you're selling your business, and that's what's the address? Because someone wanted to know where your office is for sale.
5124 Polk.
5124 Polk. That's where
Yep.
Gloria, she had asked that question. So maybe she'll be driving by there and
Okay.
giving you guys a
All
call.
right. Wonderful. Yeah. But yeah, it's, and if there's anybody interested, please reach out to us. We'd love to have a consultation visit with anybody about how we might be able to help them in any way, or if they have any specific things that they need help with on the safety or training side. That's what we do. I've got a really good staff of people. We do everything from DOT. I've got people involved in, I've got safety people on site managing safety projects on the construction side, oil and gas, petrochemical. Right now, we're overseeing the safety on a big project in the medical center for a high-rise building. I have the lead safety people on that are handling the day-to-day safety. So a little bit of everything safety related wise,
Good.
we can help and advise somebody on, and the whole deal is we don't want anyone to get hurt. We don't want anyone to get sick, and we need to think ahead on some things.
Great.
So it's
And
important.
And only because I'm your neighbor in a sense, and I've driven by and I've seen you on your golf cart. What are some of the fun places that you use your golf cart to go to here in the East End?
Well, I've gone all over the place, probably more places than I should have, but I've gone to our little farmers market. I've gone on the other things they do there on the Esplanade on Harrisburg. I've taken it to eat at Ninfa's. I've taken it to eat and El Tiempo, ridden all the way to Kroger's in it sometimes, up to Mandola's. And, it's really good, to drive around, to walk around the neighborhood, because you notice there's so many unique things in the neighborhood that you would never think were there. And unique houses, unique architecture on houses that in our normal day of driving by in a car, we just don't really get a chance to stop and smell the roses. And you can do that in the golf cart. You can do that on your bike. You can do it walking. It's probably easier walking and on a golf cart than on a bike. On a bike, you got to be a little bit more cautious of what's ahead of you so you don't fall off of it or hit something.
So true. And have you ever gotten stopped by the pesky train in your golf cart?
Not in the golf cart, but I have sat many minutes behind the trains. But that's all what makes up the East End. I see people complaining about, the trains. I knew the trains were there, and I was very aware of where the train tracks were whenever I bought and moved to the area. And that was part of about moving the area is acceptance of there's going to be a train there. This train's been there way before I was ever born. And I like to eat, and I like to have people have successful businesses, and those trains have to move commodities, and we have to eat. So it's all part of life.
Mm-hmm. So true, so true. And so I know that you mentioned that you love to eat. What are some of, other than El Tiempo and Ninfa's, what are some of the other restaurants that you like to go to here in the East End?
Well, you know, I have really come to appreciate a lot of the new places up there off St. Emmanuel. Um, Rodeo Goat, I like that. Little Vinny's Pizza's good. Um, I'm trying to think of the name of a couple of the other places I go to.
I think there's
Um,
Indianola and
there's,
there's a Truck Yard.
oh yeah, Indianola is really good as well. They've got a great chicken. Of course, if you can get a reservation, Nancy's Hustle's great. That is a spectacular little place. They have those little Nancy cakes, which are spectacular. Um, I'm hoping we get some more new restaurants here in the East End. We need a little more variety. Cannon One is very good, if you like that.
Speaking of Kanawan, it's a Thai restaurant, and there's a new Thai
Right.
restaurant called Street to Kitchen on Harrisburg, and it's
Oh, really?
delicious. Yes. So we'll have to.
I've got a F lately at trying the new places. I need to get out there. Maybe that's what we should all try to do, a socially distanced lunch one of these days at a place.
I love it. I love it. That'll be really great. So I think we're almost out of time, but Craig, is because you're an entrepreneur and because you're living in the East End, are there any tips, advice that to tell people why they should come to the East End, why they should come move here, work here, or eat here?
Well, you're close to town. You're close to everything that town has to offer. You're close to concerts, the sports, the theater district, when those things are all opened back up, which they will be shortly. You're really close to the convention center, which has so many neat things. We've got Discovery Green. We've got all the parks in our area. We've got the dog parks. You know, Harrisburg is where the city was founded. So you are right in the heart of where the city originally was born and raised. And and that's a very promising point. Also, when things were built that many years ago, they built them on a high point. So we're pretty safe from flooding in the area. And it's not always that way for other places. And you know, Midway has the very big East River project coming, and they're working on, and it's a long-term plan.
Yes,
But I'll tell you, when that long-term plan is complete, it's going to be like nothing else.
I
And
agree.
that alone is going to drive so much in the East End because it's going to be the place to come to in town.
Hmm.
You know, once that vision is complete, it's going to be like no other. There won't be anything else like it in town, and it's going to be spectacular. And the East End it was at one time, a few years ago, it was the third fastest growing area of Houston. And it's not slowing down. We're putting new apartments up, we're putting new housing up. They're building new townhouses. We've got some new multifamily stuff going in now, I guess, of the old post building.
Hmm.
There's so much unique things coming to this part of town. Um, and it's got a great history, you know. The old used tool company was there. Uh, Things that made Houston, Houston. We've got the ship channel. Um, it's so much more to come, and so much more reinventing that's going to happen that I can't imagine being anywhere else with all the excitement and
I
changes.
agree. I agree. I'm so excited
You
that
know,
I was born and raised here, and you're, you're new to the area, but we're all family, we're all neighbors, and together
oh
we're
yeah,
going to just
it's a
keep it
great
going.
time. Yes,
Yay. One,
it's
go ahead.
go ahead. No, no,
No,
it just is a spectacular place to live. It's a spectacular place to work with some really good, diverse group of people. You know, Houston is the most ethnically diverse major city in the United States, and it's shown very much through every part of town, and the East End is well represented of that.
mhm. I
You
agree.
have
I agree.
you have all walks of life, and it makes it so interesting.
Hmm. So true, so true. One of your friends at the chamber, Gerard Charles, wanted to say, beautiful work, Craig. He's from Legal Shield, and he just wanted to give you a thumbs up
Oh,
on today's program. Thank you,
wonderful.
Gerard, for being with us.
Yep. Thank
And
you
thank
guys. Thank
everybody.
you everyone.
Yeah, thank you to everybody else that's watching us today. Again, Craig is an entrepreneur, a business owner, and he's also beautifying the East End. And all of us are doing our part to make the East End the place to live, work, and play. Please come join us at one of the restaurants here in the East End. Support local, and we'll join everybody next Friday for our following Feel Good Friday. Thanks again, Craig, and we wish you a great weekend.
All right. You too. Have a good one. Take care. Appreciate it, everybody.
All right, we'll see you on the road and your golf cart.
All right.